Hey guys, so today we have with us Josh Liquornik. He is the co-founder of the app Rhythm, which is a sharing app for all songs. We'll include that in our website and our link and everything. Welcome, Josh. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. You doing well during this quarantine?
Yeah, I mean, at least the weather's starting to be a little nicer. So the beginning was pretty rough, especially I live in Canada. I guess you
Yeah.
guys are in the States, so a little colder than what you guys probably had, but
Yeah.
pretty nice now. So
Yeah, definitely. Any cool quarantine hobbies that you've been picking up or anything?
really just working on the app. At least I have something to keep me busy, so
There
can't
you go.
complain about
Yeah, it's a great app. So why don't you go ahead and start with telling me about like how it got started, maybe a little on your background.
Sure. So I had the idea about 2 years ago. Basically, I just realized that sharing music with your friends kind of sucked.
Yeah,
People would
totally.
screenshots on their Instagram stories of what they're listening to, but that doesn't really do anything because you have to leave Instagram just to go listen to the song.
Yeah,
And then if you share something from Apple or Spotify, it's only good if your friends have that same service.
yeah,
So I
definitely.
kind of looked at what's out there and nothing stood out too much to me. So I met my co-founder for this app last year. He's a software developer, so he
Yep.
put all the tech together.
Hmm.
And basically, we just tried to create a better mousetrap for sharing music with your friends.
Yeah, definitely. Something I really liked about it was like it really is kind of like Instagram, just as like
Exactly.
you don't really need to share posts or pictures or videos, but you know, you need to share songs. That's like something I definitely struggle with my friends. It's always like, oh, let me just send a screenshot, or text it or
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
post it on Instagram story or whatever. So, what inspired you to do this beyond just the necessity within our society?
So I guess that ties into what you asked about my background. So I did business in undergrad, and so I've always been interested in kind of entrepreneurial ventures and a big music fan. And when I kind of realized that there was a gap here, I was really looking into what was out there, and I didn't like what I saw. So I figured if someone does this right, it could really be something. And I figured I may as well try to do that myself. So
Yeah,
hopefully
seriously.
we're at the beginning of that. So that's
Where
kind
do
of
you
what it
see
is.
this going? Like, what's your end goal here?
I mean, the end goal is as big as you can imagine because, like you said, it kind of is like Instagram. It's laid out very similar. So
Yep.
I see this being the one-stop shop for everything, sharing music-wise with your friends. It's a place to share the music you like. It's a place to just discover music because you're just listening to everything your friends are recommending.
Hmm.
So basically, the way that people use Instagram for pictures and videos, I see this being the case for music with Rhythm.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I checked out the app too, and it's super user friendly. It's not complicated at all. I like that you have your own account. It makes things a lot simpler, and you're just like, hey, I like this genre of music. Why don't I share it with somebody who likes something that's different from what I like? Um,
Right.
yeah, I just think it's a great way to like be able to join a community together besides just, oh, hey, in person, hey, did you hear that song that just came out? Like, it's awesome. So how did you
Appreciate that.
and Lucas Gizmondi, is that how you say his name?
Yeah, we have a couple of tough last names. Mine's Liquornik and his is Gismondi, but each of them, you got to take at least a couple tries before you get them right.
Hey, yeah, I think I pronounced it Liquornik, which it's
Yeah,
not
that's
liquor.
the first. Exactly. Yeah.
So how did you guys meet?
We met through a mutual friend. He went to school with one of my buddies who knew I was kind of working on this idea, but I'm not a tech guy by any means, so I didn't know really how to get it going myself.
Gotcha.
And Lucas is a software developer, so I reached out to him, and he was on board with the idea, and we just started working on it together, and that's kind of we've
Dude,
gotten to
that's
this point
awesome.
a year later. Yeah, I
That's
appreciate
awesome.
that.
So how long was the process before, you really hit the ground running with the developing the app and everything?
We're both still in school, so he was the only developer on it, and like I said, he was in school, and we started last summer when each of us had internships as well. So it took uh, a, basically a year from when he joined me and started developing to the point where we launched, which was the beginning of May.
Okay, gotcha. And like, is this something that have you always been super passionate about music?
I'd say probably starting sometime in high school, I started to get really into it. Uh, just as opposed to just hearing stuff on the radio, like actually looking into new artists and
Yeah.
getting into certain genres. And so over time, I've that's why I've come to realize how much of a need there is to share this music with your friends and to be able to find stuff that isn't just out there on the radio. And this is why I kind of wanted to push this out there and get everyone on it to share it. It's really, it's a great way to just find new music every day without any effort. You could go to all these websites or YouTube channels or wherever that post music, but all you
Yep.
have to do on Rhythm is just scroll through your feed, and it's just song recommendations from your friends over and over.
Yeah, totally. So are you the type of guy who, when you're sharing songs with like your friends or I guess your clients now,
Mhm.
are these songs that you personally had just recently found, or are you the type of guy who's like, oh, you need to hear the song from early 2000s or whatnot?
I'm kind of all over the map. I'll post something from the 70s one day, and then if something comes out on a Friday that I really like, I'll post that. So I'm always just kind of listening to stuff on shuffle, and if something good comes up, I'll post it on Rhythm. And that's what
Yeah.
I hope. That's kind of the cycle I want people to get into: is you hear a good song, you post it. Same way you
Yeah.
take a good picture, you
Right.
post it on
Right.
Instagram.
And that's the thing too, is like you've linked it with both Spotify and Apple Music.
Right.
So virtually anybody who listens to music is able to use your app.
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of the big issue is on the one hand, like I was saying before with Instagram, which is how most people do it with screenshots, it wasn't really effective. But even beyond that, the biggest issue I would hear from people when asking them about their music sharing experience is that half of my friends are on one service, half are on another. I
Yep.
have to send them a text that has a link to a 30-second clip because they can't listen to the whole thing. So the whole system was just kind of broken. So we're
Right.
just trying
Right.
to put those things
Bridge the
together.
gap.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you use more Apple Music or Spotify personally?
I'm on Apple Music and Lucas is on Spotify, so we were the perfect
Oh,
test
there you
dummies
go.
for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Are you finding any not necessarily nuances, but does one work better than the other? I know Spotify is predominantly more used for music discovery, so I would assume that Spotify may be higher usage, but what do you think?
They have, some differences between the two. For example, when we get, as you saw, if you scroll through the news feed, it'll show you the song. So it'll show you the song title, the artist, the year it came out.
Yep.
So if you have Apple Music, it'll show you the genre, but if you have Spotify, it won't, just because there's certain pieces of
Huh.
information that Apple gives you that Spotify
Right,
doesn't.
right, right.
So
That's true.
it is one app, but Lucas basically had to build one app for Spotify users and one for Apple users because there's a bit of
Gotcha.
different
Yeah.
information. I'm not sure exactly number wise how many people are on one versus the other,
Hmm.
because to us it's, as long as they're on the app, it's all good.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, there are some differences between the two.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that makes sense because what before Apple Music switched to what is Apple Music now,
Hmm.
you'd open the library and you'd see genre and you could organize your songs by genre, whereas Spotify
Right.
is more focused on creating playlists. So that's cool that Lucas was able to mine the two and create something that would
Absolutely.
work
Yeah.
for both. So you've obviously shared this with a number of your friends, right?
Hmm.
What do they think about
Absolutely.
it?
A lot of my friends were getting annoyed with me because I was talking about it for 2 years straight. So they just wanted to see something, but I got really positive feedback when it came out. A lot of people messaging me about how much they liked it and how much, I
Yeah,
have always tried to share music with my friends, but I can't do it. This is great.
right.
Um, it's still pretty early on and we're a couple students, so it's not like we've got a crazy
Right,
marketing
right,
budget or
right.
anything, but we're just trying to kind of include new features that people will like, and then as people come on, they'll invite their friends if they think it's a good app and
Totally.
just
I
kind
know
of
I've
grow it
told a
that way.
number of my friends, I'm like, hey, this is way easier than me sending a screenshot. You can actually click the link and it takes you right to Spotify. Then you just add it to your
Exactly.
playlist. That's it. um,
Yeah,
so
totally.
so you said you're still in school, right?
Hmm.
How many years you've left?
So I just finished my first year of law school this
Oh,
year. I have 2 years
congratulations.
left.
You survived,
Appreciate
it sounds
that.
like.
Yeah. Just by a thin margin, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then Lucas has 1 year left. He's finishing up his computer sciences or software engineering.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the phrasing
Yeah.
is, but that's how he was able to build this. So
Yeah. Do you think, or how has creating rhythm helped you in school? Because you
I
majored in
think,
business, right?
yeah. So in undergrad, I did business. I
Yep.
think that's how definitely being in business school helped me kind of know how to go about trying to analyze things and what questions to ask people, and what things are important to focus on and what aren't, especially when you're working on a limited budget.
Right.
There's a ton more to learn after the product actually comes out than in the planning phase, because there's so many things you think will happen or won't happen, and then all of a sudden within 24 hours it's a complete 180 on what you thought. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is just kind of learning on the fly and reacting to feedback, and just kind of going with what people want. I mean, as long as you're keeping people
Yeah.
happy, then hopefully they'll share with their friends and it'll keep growing.
Do you think that's been the most challenging part of creating the app, is finding this balance between developing the small business and then also maintaining your academics?
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. I definitely think there would be a lot more to do if I could focus. Same with Lucas. If I could focus on it full time, we would have a lot more going on. We would have a lot more features coming out quickly. But that's just the nature of being a student while running something like
Right.
this.
Right.
But at the same time, it also kind of gives us a bit of a longer leash in terms of being able to grow it before we have to go into it full time and kind of
Right.
really
Right.
build it up before we're done school. So there are pros and cons to it for sure.
Right. Yeah. You want to work out the kinks now as you're growing,
Exactly.
developing, and you're still learning in school, before you can really take off with it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what type of growth do you see, or, in 10 years? I know 10 years seems like a while from now, but, where do you ideally, in a dream world, where do you want your app to be?
I think in a dream world, this would probably be the same way that, a Facebook, for example, acquired Instagram and turned it into what it is. I think this could fit very well into whether it's a company like Facebook that owns a social platform, or one of the music streaming platforms using it to kind of bridge a gap between the two, or record labels,
Yeah.
to put their music all in one place. I think there are a lot of ways that it could kind of get to that level. But again, it's tough 1 month in while still in school to picture, 10 years from now,
Right.
if this
Right.
is, yeah. So let's just, I think if this is still going 10 years from now, we'll be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like you're a dreamer, but you're also a realist. You're like, okay, let's figure out what realistically was going on. Let's figure out our budget. Let's figure out how many people we're touching every month or whatever, and then we'll see where we go.
Yeah, that's the plan right now, just a day at a time. Let's say, we'll get some articles written or someone will post about it. That might be a little spike in users, but then are those users sharing with their friends, or did they just download it and that kind of, faded off? So it's just kind of, like you said, figuring out the kinks of how to get these people on. And then once they're on, how to get them to share with their friends.
Totally. So you know who Evan Spiegel is, right?
Yeah, there's a Snapchat guy.
Yeah. So in an interview that he had, they were talking about how his primary focus was the ability to bridge the gap between everyday users and celebrities, and not being able,
Right.
or not being constricted by a like or a notification or other things that bound us to lowering our self-worth. But
Right.
he said that with Snapchat, you have the ability to reach these celebrities, and it'd be so common. Is this something that you would like for your app? And if so, what celebrities would you want to use your app?
I think, yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that could really put this over the top. I think people, whether it's musicians, athletes, celebrities in general, influencers, whatever you want to say, people eat up their content on Twitter, on Instagram. Like, people just want to be a part of what they're doing. And I think if they are on rhythm, it would give it almost even a more human aspect to connecting with your fans, because on Instagram, they'll post a very, a picture in a very nice location that's very edited, is something you'll give it a like, but it's not something you can relate to.
Sure.
Whereas if they post a song on rhythm, it could be a song that you like and save to your library, the same way that if you and I posted for our friends, they could like it and save it to their library. Yeah. So I think it would be awesome, for example, if you had artists who are posting, what's inspiring them while they are creating their new album, or an athlete saying like what they're listening to, like in the locker room before the game. I think there's so many ways.
Yeah, it definitely has a ton of potential.
Yeah, it's just obviously we just got to get to the point where those people are are on the app. And then I think there's so many ways, like I was saying, for them to really just connect with their fans in ways that Instagram and Snapchat might not let them.
Totally. Yeah, I think it's awesome. Seriously, Rhythm's such a cool idea.
Appreciate that.
Definitely one of my favorite apps on my phone right now. So let me ask you just some off the wall questions, if you don't mind. Sure. First off, what are your favorite apps? What are your most used apps?
My favorite apps, well, right now it's Rhythm, I gotta say, but
right, definitely, me
yeah.
too. Right there with you.
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty basic. Rhythm, Instagram, and Apple Music are probably all I spend my time doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's a good mix, I think. Favorite musicians?
Just the staples.
Yeah.
Favorite musicians, gotta go The Weeknd, Tame Impala, Frank Ocean.
Nice.
I'm big into classic rock, so AC/DC, stuff like that.
How sick would it be if Frank Ocean started using your app?
That would be the dream come true.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
He'd probably bring 1 million users onto the app by himself.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. See? Just did a plug-in for you.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much, Josh. Best of luck to you. And do you have any other questions for me?
No, that's great. I just want to say for everyone out there, we've got some cool stuff on the way with Rhythm. An update coming out soon where you'll be able to post full albums. You'll be able to post your playlists that you've made from Apple or Spotify and show them on your profile. There will be DMs like Instagram. You'll be able to filter your feed by genre. So there are a lot of things that are going to help you not only share music more effectively with your friends, but also find stuff that you like that matches your taste.
There you go. There you have it. All right, Josh, well, thank you so much, and we'll be in touch soon, okay?
All right, appreciate it.